Assalamu alaikum. Ismi Rico Tyler. Unfortunately, that is almost all the Arabic that I know, and the rest of my talk will need to be in English. I apologize for not being able to attend this very important meeting. I have been looking forward for several months to be able to meet with all of you, to share my experiences with you, and to learn from the experiences of the other attendees. Anytime that I am working with teachers, sharing ideas with them, I always discover that I learn more than I share with others. And so I'm extraordinarily disappointed that I'm not able to be with you here today. Hopefully, in the future, I'll be able to meet and talk with many of you. Meeting new people and sharing ideas with them is very similar to my own experience working with third sector organizations, working to improve the quality of primary and secondary education, and finding ways to provide them with resources and experiences so that they can differentiate instruction in STEM fields. Partnering with the third sector opens new possibilities that the partners individually could not have achieved alone. Today, I'd like to share with you several of my own experiences working with third sector organizations in the hope that it might inspire you to forming partnerships of your own. My very first example is an organization that I have worked with for 36 years. 37 years ago, a group of business interests, foundations, and state government joined together and formed something that's called the Kentucky Governor Scholars Program. The Governor Scholars Program is a residential summer program for gifted and high-achieving students from across the state of Kentucky. With the help of third sector donors, this program has grown so that today, each year, 5,000 students from across Kentucky apply, hoping to get one of the 1,000 spaces that are available on 3 different college campuses. Every secondary school student in Kentucky is eligible. If a student is accepted to the program, there is no tuition or expenses or fees of any kind associated with the program. The sponsors, the foundations, and the state government cover all the expenses. Third sector organizations do more than just provide financial assistance. Different organizations actually partner and sponsor certain classes, such as engineering, healthcare, and agriculture. This allows those classes to have experiences that they would not otherwise be able to do in just an academic setting sponsored by a university. My own astronomy class at the Governor Scholars Program has such a sponsor. Each summer, my sponsor travels to Kentucky and brings large telescopes that my students can use and do things that they never would be able to do without the intervention of my sponsor. If you'd like to learn more about the Governor Scholars Program, you can actually read their annual report showing all the classes that are taught and what happens in those classes at the link that you see on this slide. Bowling Green, Kentucky is the home of Western Kentucky University, where I teach. It is also famous for being the home of the Corvette. All the Corvette sports cars made are made in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So Bowling Green has many automotive industries and a demand for people with training in science and math fields to fill those jobs. 2 years ago, the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce, the Corvette Museum, and General Motors approached my colleagues and I looking for ways to help area students understand the importance of mathematics and science in the automobile industry. The result of this collaboration is a special educational program called On Track. On Track designs special lessons that combine physics, chemistry, and mathematics with cars in the automotive industry. On Track trains teachers and provides them with all the needed materials to teach these new lessons. The sponsors of the program, the third sector organizations that we are involved with, provide all the funding. On Track also brings sports cars to local schools. These sports cars are actually part of the lessons. Students do the lessons with the sports cars, doing experiments to show what the sports cars can do. Each year, On Track designs a new lesson, and the new lessons are then shared with local schools. My last example comes from a nonprofit medical organization called the National Stem Cell Foundation. Each year, the foundation sponsors millions of dollars of research in the medical field to laboratories across the United States and the world. Several years ago, the foundation realized that while they are not directly involved in education, they need a strong science education program and well-trained teachers to train the future researchers, future doctors, and future technicians that they need for their programs. They decided to approach the Center for Gifted Studies at Western Kentucky University, looking for ideas and offering financial and other support to make these ideas happen. The result of this was the National STEM Scholar Program. Each year, this program conducts a national search and recruits 10 outstanding science teachers from across the United States and brings them to Western Kentucky University for a week of special training. The training is designed to help these teachers become more creative, creating better lessons that better help them differentiate their instruction to the needs of their students. This program has run for the last 3 years, and class number 4 will be selected in just a few weeks. So far, 30 scholars from 20 states have gone through the National STEM Scholars Program. When each scholar returns home from Kentucky, they receive a grant. This grant allows them to design their own projects that let them expand their own teaching, and then they take these projects and share them with local teachers. If you'd like to know more about the projects that these scholars have done, if you look at this link, it'll show you some of the work that these 30 teachers are doing. In addition to the STEM Scholar Program, the National STEM Foundation, actually has many connections, and they can use those connections, those assets that they have, for other projects. The program also has contracts with Blue Origin. Last year, the National Stem Cell Foundation contracted with the Blue Origins company to have launch space on one of their new Shepard rockets. This rocket will fly in April with a payload designed for use by middle school students and middle school teachers. Students from across the country can be involved in our mission. We will be launching a series of marshmallow simulated astronauts. Those astronauts will encounter the accelerations and the extreme conditions in space. Before this flight, our own middle school students working across the country will do a series of experiments to see how well these marshmallow astronauts will survive their flight into space. After they conduct their own experiments, they'll be able to see the actual results from our experiments conducted on the flight. This hopefully will be the first of several experiments that we'll be able to do on a national level. This coming fall, our students will be able to have a direct video link with astronauts in the International Space Station, sharing ideas with them and learning about conditions in space. These 3 different examples that I've shared with you are just a few of the ways that educators, schools can work with third sector organizations to do projects that never could have been done without the partnership between these organizations. Hopefully, they'll give you some ideas that might inspire you to some future projects yourself. If you have any questions about these projects or have any questions at all, please reach me at my email address. Hopefully, the next time that we're able to meet, it'll not be by video, but we will be in person. I hope that you have a wonderful conference, and I hope that sometime in the future, I'll be able to meet in person with you. Thank you for your time and for your attention.